Greasy Says.
Yeah, what's up, Greasy people? Welcome back to Greasy Says, the show where I talk about games, the state of the industry, and talk about the game I'm working on currently as a former triple A developer going out on his own for the first time, trying to make his own stuff. What should we start with? I could talk about a couple of different things. I got a few windows open here. Let's talk about layoffs first. There's been more, and more are coming. Meta says that they plan to lay off about 8,000 people. You know AI is part of that. Xbox, we already know about that one. Oh, since the last time we chatted, Pixar cut about, most people in late July. Looks like the number of job cuts fell just under 100. And then BuzzFeed, who I don't really care about that much, but I got a buddy, I think, who works there, so maybe I do care a little bit, disclosed plans to cut 30. You imagine that? You imagine that, like, you're at work and your company tells you, we're gonna lay people off. You just sitting there like this, chomping at your fingernails, man, in fear. That's brutal. I don't know which is worse. Would you rather, drop in the comments below, would you rather be cut with like an insensitive, impersonal email that comes straight to your inbox on the moment you're cut? Or would you like to know in advance so you could like start planning, start talking to friends, start, laying out a plan for yourself, asking questions to your employer, etc.? Which would you prefer? Drop it in the comments. Anyway, who else we got? BBC, okay, Marvel. Oh, right. So Marvel is owned by Disney. So they're cutting because obviously these movies aren't making as much money as they used to. And Disney been spending money. They got a new CEO, I guess, Josh D'Amaro. And they're planning to cut almost 1,000 employees. Over the next few months, I guarantee you that the number is higher than 1,000. For sure. 1,000 is the ones you're going to know about. All the shit leading up to the big 1,000 or like the major event, they've been cutting people away left and right. I guarantee it. Sony Pictures, which is more movies. 12,000 people, man. March 24th. Yep. Okay, we know about Epic. Who else we got? Look at this list. This list is crazy. From all corners of tech. Entertainment, like visual entertainment, gaming entertainment, movies, music, news. It's crazy. Even fake money, Block is reducing. Going from 10,000 to 6,000. That's 4,000 people gone. And that's basically banking. Who cuts jobs in banking? Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Netflix laid off less than 1% of its 6,000 employees. It's brutal out there, man. It's brutal. Ubisoft reset strategy? What does that even mean? It's getting shaken up out there, y'all. And I'm telling you. Now is the time to go indie. Now is the time to gather up all your cool indie game making friends and just make stuff and release it and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to make a triple I game to make money. I've been looking, since I'm working on my own stuff, I've been looking at like YouTube videos and articles about people who release their own games. And like I just want to get to the finish line where I release it. I don't think I'll make a bunch of money on it or anything like that, or it's going to be successful. I don't have that expectation. I just want to get there so I have the whole process understood and like in my brain. I know how it works because I've done all the steps while I was working in the big industry, but doing it myself, I've learned this shit takes 10 times longer when you're doing it by yourself. You got to take way smaller steps, and you just have to give yourself a ton of grace because it's going to take time. I've been talking to people who run their own business, people who've been entrepreneurs for most of their careers. And, it's been uplifting, but also humbling at the same time to know that when you're chasing something for yourself and you're doing it for yourself, by yourself, there's so many more things you have to worry about and take care of, and there's so many more things in your way. I'll talk about that later in the Patreon part of the episode about how I dealt with that and some of the more depressing aspects of that reality. Anyway, so that's the layoffs. It sucks. I'm sorry if you're part of these people. I'm also sorry if you're the person left behind. Like, you saw all your friends get cut, and now you got to carry on doing this job where you know, like, you're just as disposable as everyone else. Real talk. And now you don't have your homies around to work with you. That's brutal. I'm sorry for y'all. So I've been thinking more about how I want to approach making this game. I think what I want to start with and what I've been doing, it's tempting to want to come up with a story about your game or characters, like narrative stuff. It's fun, it's inspiring, it gets your brain ticking, it gets you gassed up. But from my experience making games, when you start with narrative, it almost always gets thrown out. It's almost always, if you start too early, wasted work because you don't have enough meat on the bones of your game to justify a story. So I've been focused on just making systems and mechanics that hopefully can coalesce into a fun experience, and then slap a story on that experience to the best of my ability, or maybe I'll bring in someone who knows what they're doing. I got a new homie. She is a writer, and I'm hoping that if the styles mesh, that maybe she can help write some stuff for this. I'm reaching out. I'm going to start reaching out as soon as I reach to a point where I have something solid. I got to start reaching out to maybe some artists, individuals, instead of trying to AI every fucking thing. Just bring some humanity into the project. So we'll see when we get there, but I'm starting with mechanics. So I've been looking at all-time classic, game I love so much, Darkest Dungeon. This is the second one, Darkest Dungeon 2. I played this game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. I am terrible at this game. I suck at this game. I get obliterated by this game time and time again, and I just keep coming back because I like abuse, I guess.
A light in the limitless expanse.
This game is super challenging. It's a turn-based RPG, I guess you could call it. A turn-based, run-based game. Oh, Flame Triumph, what does that mean? Ooh, what? I didn't know about this? Wow, okay, that's cool. I won't even bore you guys with the details of that. But that's a cool thing. I'm always learning new stuff about this game. How long have I been playing this game? Let me check Steam real quick. How many hours have I put into this game? 214 hours. And I've only achieved 44 of its 121 achievements. Not that I'm achievement hunting or anything. It's just like, that's how much I suck at this game. Anywho, so I'm looking at this game because this game does a few things really well. The first one was very simple art style. It's kind of like Hellboy-ish. I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's achievable by a small team. And then they scaled up for the second one. Made everything 3D, a lot more effects going on. You're on this, but the idea is simple. If you take away all these graphics and all this sweet looking stuff, you're basically on a road. You're going down a spline. And this is a point of interest that you get to, and this is a cutscene, and you bring up the menu. Like, it's simple execution. See, I haven't even reached level 4 or 5. I've been working my way. Like, I'll just play Denial over and over until I find a good team, and then I'll take them to Resentment and try to beat that boss. I have not even gotten halfway through Obsession. That's how bad I am at this game. Anyway, let's go with Denial. Just to show off what I'm thinking. So, I'm getting inspiration from this game because it's a very simple premise, but executed very, very well. You start your run. You're going through this map. They give you a little bit of story here, right? Just something to keep you locked up in the lore of the world, right? This is essentially a menu screen. You're traveling to choose your team. The crossroads is choose your team.
Between places.
Oh right, I beat that boss last time. Let me see if I can remember my lineup. It was
A
Vestal.
sister of battle. Repudiated, but unbowed.
I think the leper was the leper in the front? Ranger. Not Ranger. Highwayman.
Harried. A fugitive seeking to
And
outpace the
runaway?
past.
Yeah, I think this was it. I gotta change their stuff. But essentially, you get to this screen, you choose your team, you embark. Now you're back on this spline moving forward. Another cutscene, they load the level. Alright, boom, so you're in the first level. Again, you're still on a spline, easy little pickups along the way, you hit these little piles of leaves and you might get an item, you might not. Simple sort of collection mechanic.
The point of no return welcomes you.
And then they trickle in all these little like story beats as you go along. Boom. Now you're in a battle.
Is giving way.
Right? Random events. And you fight. But this is like, you know, it's pretty simple. This is like numbers going back and forth, but they zazz it up just enough with the visuals that it feels really cool. But all I'm doing is trading numbers here. And statuses, which is just more numbers. Anyway, I really suck at this game. But I love playing it so much because it kicks my butt in a way that I like. Kind of like how people really love Dark Souls. This game gives me Dark Souls. So yeah, we're just trading numbers back and forth. Hopefully eventually I beat these guys. I mean, I should win this battle. I mean, it's in the freaking valley. Like, this is easy. But I've gotten, like, in Obsession, in level 3 or whatever, there are fights in the valley where I'm like, I'm down half life on everybody on the first fight. It's ridiculous. Shout out to Shuffle FM, a YouTuber who is a master at this game, and I've learned so much from that guy. He has it all figured out. Right, so you beat the level, dun, 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 right? You get your result screen.
Is noble and necessary.
All right, and then we're back on the spline. Right, simple. And this is how every level is, y'all. Every level is like this. You go down a path. You do random encounters along the way. You pick up little things along the way, and then you get to the boss. And there's some like branching that happens, right? Which is normal. But essentially, you're just following a map and hitting points of interest along the way. I want to take that same sort of idea for my game. Keep it simple. I keep it modular so we can kind of replay levels and reuse assets and reuse a lot of the mechanics in different ways. That's what I'm hoping. So here, you know, we rest, we do our thing. I'm not even gonna finish this expedition, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that.
Consider your position.
Go for it. Don't do this, by the way, if you play this game for real. Don't leave and not spend mastery points. You will get obliterated. Sweet cutscene to set you up for the next area. Everything's very sleek, but quote-unquote simple. Achievable with a small team. So now, okay, so here you have actual branching paths.
Only.
Nothing too complicated, really. There's only, what, two or three possible paths per junction. And you roll along, and then when you get to a crossroad, you make a decision of where you want to go. These guys all want to go to the hoarder, so let's go. Again, we're collecting these essentially coins along the way. Sometimes they have stuff in them, sometimes they don't. It's just an easy way to move your cart around and have a little bit of gameplay in a part that's essentially playing itself. All right, now we're back to here, and it's another choice, right? So that's Darkest Dungeon in a nutshell. I think it's pretty effective. This is a small game made by a small team that hit success in a major way. And even though they achieved success, they didn't bloat the game, the sequel, sort of beyond their powers, beyond the scope. They increased the scope of the game just by a little bit, kept it achievable, kept it clean, kept it in the spirit of the game. That's cool. But no matter how hard I try, I always end up dying. Death is the name of the game in Darkest Dungeon. Get used to it. Speaking of death, let's look at what I got going on in my level. So last time we were here, I gave y'all a little walkthrough of the whole scene, and we walked through some corridors, and we pressed some buttons, and we opened some doors, and stuff happened, and blah 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 blah. So since then, I've been working on a lot of different things, but one I want to show you today is how I'm doing damage. I'll show you a couple of things. So I made this box. This is the box of death. Right, I have health now at the top of the screen. Can you see that? Can you guys see that? Yeah. At the top of the screen, the red bar is HP. And oxygen is going down like we did before. And now when I walk over this box, oof, I get a little screen shake. My health goes down by a certain amount. Explosions happening out here for no reason. I get hit again. My health is down to 1, as you can see in my debug text. And now I'm dead. Fade to black. Respawn. So yeah, that's my loop. So I got death working. That's great. Yeah, easy. Seemingly easy. But boy, was this a pain in the ass. Originally, I had tried to, let me see if I can show you this. I had tried to do the health system with pips. Worst mistake of my fucking life. I tried to do this, use a actual image as my health pip, so we would have like 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dots, and each dot would represent your life. And I would try to add that to the HUD and then remove dots from the HUD whenever I was damaged. Huge pain in the ass. I can't even express how much of a pain in the ass it was. I wonder if I still have any of the code or the scripting. I don't anymore. I deleted it all because I was so frustrated and done with this crappy. Using images inside of widgets in Unreal is a nightmare. Doing simple things like adding and taking away things requires you to reset the entire widget, clear all the children, re-add the children. Sometimes it doesn't initialize properly. It's a nightmare. So just having 3 dots up here to represent health wasn't working for me. I worked on it for like 2 days trying to figure out what was wrong with it. I would be getting hit. My life would go down. I'd see the number in the debug text, but the pips would not change. They would not decrease. They would not disappear. It worked once, and then it never worked again. And I didn't change anything, as far as I know. So guess what? Progress bars are the way to go. Just use progress bars for everything. Forget images, unless you're trying to draw like a big-ass image on the screen. You trying to do health bars, sliders, shit like that, just use progress bars or sliders. Just do it. Because then in the graph, you can do really, really easy things like, oh, this is not broken anymore. Let's fix that. Comment your stuff, guys. Lower health, or HP, I should say. So now I'm just like, I know what my health is. My max health is 3. I get that from another blueprint. I clamp it to the 1 to 0 range, and I set my percentage. Easy peasy. Where's my player? Yeah, player character thingy. Yeah, so any damage comes in, I print something that says how much I got damaged for. I pass that through. I check my current health. I subtract that damage amount. This damage amount, this is a node that exists inside of Unreal where any damage happens, you can tell the damage amount in a float. I convert that to an int. And then I set the current health. I shake the camera. I print stuff to let me know that it happened. And then I update the health bar. Simple. With the pip stuff, it was just a nightmare, man. I don't ever want to do that again. If you know how to make health pips work reliably inside of UE, or you have like a tutorial on YouTube or something, hit it up in the comments. Let me know. I want to see it because I want to learn it, even though I might never use it because it's shit show. I want to understand what I did wrong. And I don't want to bore you guys with running through the whole blueprint right now. But if you have adding and removing things from the HUD over time and kind of keeping track of that thing. I'm not saying put game over on the screen and then make it go away. I'm saying add G, and then when you take a step, add A, and then when you take a step backwards, remove A. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Let me know what it is, because good God. Anyway, that's going to do it for the YouTube part of the free episode of Greasy Says. Thanks for coming out and listening and vibing with me. I appreciate you. I'll see you all in the next episode. Drop comments down below if you find anything about this interesting, stuff you want to see more of. Like, comment, and subscribe and whatnot. All right, bet. Peace out, y'all.
Greasy Says.